Hey folks, welcome to the Trader Hotseat. If you're new to trading and you're trying to find your footing, you've come to the right place. You probably did exactly what I did about 6 years ago when I first became interested in trading. You've opened up YouTube, here we are, and you type something into the search bar. You've been met with a dozen different trading strategies, probably thousands, indicator setups, etc. You know the drill. Your homepage, much like mine, is now littered with content creators telling you that they have, some sort of secret strategy, a magic strategy. We got it right here. They're going to double your account size in a month. You've got the most accurate one here, insane profits. You're going to be within like 2 months, maybe 3 months. You're going to have, forget swimming in cash. You're going to be swimming in Lambos. They're going to show you this profit and loss, some astronomical number, after they've back tested a trade 100 times. So it has to be a good strategy, right? They back tested it 100 times. They've shown you the back testing. It has to be good, right? Or is it too good to be true? That's why I created this channel. Today we are backtesting the backtesters. So who's in the Trader Hotseat today? This TradeIQ guy here. I've got 2, 3, 4. Obviously heavily recommended by the YouTube algorithm. So let's take a look at this guy. Let's find an easy strategy, maybe something for beginners. So TradeIQ is the channel name. Let's see. Best. Obviously we need the best one. Best strategy. Thank you, Lyft. Haven't used Lyft in probably 6 or 7 years. TradeIQ best trading strategy. And you know what? For beginners. That seems like a good one. Simple is usually better, they say. Make $50 every 20 minutes. Wouldn't that be nice? MACD strat. Heard of that one. I'm sure you have to. Make your first 10K easy with a high win rate. Best trading strategy ever. #1 on the channel. Okay. 9 days ago. And it's already his best one. So let's take a look.
So you're literally going to watch me earn several $1,000s while filming this video. Okay, so just keep this number in mind.
Oh boy.
We're currently...
Again, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Yeah, 1 point.
I just found something absolutely crazy. This trading strategy is so good that you can literally make ridiculous profits in the shortest amount of time if you stick to the rules I'm about to show you.
Wow, and there you go. Fat stacks of cash. All you have to do is follow a couple of rules, and this is you. You got a mortgage? Don't worry about it, right? You are printing money at your computer. All you have to do is follow the rules. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check the... Yeah, so he's showing the chart settings here. I'm going to get this figured out on TradingView real quick, and I will show you that setup and then get started. Please do leave a like and subscribe if you find this content useful. And be sure to leave a comment down below too. What do you think about all of these trading gurus? Have you found an indicator that generally works for you? And if there's any indicators or strategies that you'd like me to test, please let me know down below. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Today though, TradeIQ in the hot seat. What's his P&L? What does he say? 225. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So we are set up and ready to go. We have 2 EMAs. We have a 200 period and a 50 period. The easiest way to do this, especially if you are not a TradingView like pro member, I'm not sure what they call it, but you would go to indicators, you would search EMA, and then you would search, you go down here to this one here by Dr. Sweets. It's got a 20, 50, 100, 200 period. This counts as just one indicator despite it having these 4 lines. I'll hide the 2 that I had initially. So this would be what your chart would look like if you just put these indicators on. Okay, so the red line here, this is your fast, this is your 20 period. The lower the number, the faster. So we would disable that one. We need a 50, so that would be your orange, and we need a 200, that would be the dark blue, so we don't need this. Okay, so once we have that set up, your chart can look something like this. Feel free to recolor the EMA lines if you need. Next, we would be adding the trend meter. And it is this one here by LIJMC. It's got about 1,700-ish uses. So trend meter, we'll go ahead and add that one. And the only thing you need to do is just come down here, hover over, click that little cog wheel, and uncheck the signals box. This very first one, signals 1. Don't need that. Next up, you would add the volatility oscillator. Why do I feel like I spelled it? Okay. That's why. Volatility oscillator. You're going to add the one from very fid here, 375. And when you add that, it's going to look a little bit different. I guess I will here. I'll show you the settings that I'm personally using. We'd go down here into this little cog wheel. So you can see a whole lot of blue. This looks like a mess. If your chart's on a dark background, there should be a white line that's outlining all of these peaks. If you're on a white chart, you want to flip that to black. I would go ahead and get rid of the spike fill. And on the spike line 1 here that you just changed to black, I would change that to the step line. And in doing so, you get these very nice bars that poke above this top blue line here, and that's what we need. The long conditions for this strategy, the price must be above the EMAs. So you can see we have price above the EMAs here. The 50 EMA must be above the 200. As you can see, we have that cross there, so the 50 is above. The volatility oscillator must print high above the high blue line, and that is this high blue line right here. So you can see a few swings. You know, these are all pretty much above. We have a nice spike here. We have a good few spikes right there. Hey man, look at this one right here. It's a huge one. The trend meter must be totally green. So we need to see something like this where we have a green, I'm going to call this the trigger dot. We need 3 green dots below it. And you'll notice here that when all of these conditions are met, we'll have a green highlighted box. I believe this would be the first entry signal that we have here. Let's go ahead and mark that up. And technically speaking, these indicators print after the close of this candle. So you would actually be entering on the open of the following one, but for the sake of this and just keeping the chart clean, we're going to pretend that you nailed the nanosecond before that candle closed. But please don't try to guess where these things are going and what these indicators are going to do before they happen. So we have here a green trigger dot. We have this nice highlighted green box right below, which indicates the 3 green dots here. We have a green bar followed by another green bar. And additionally, we have our volatility oscillator printing high above the blue line. When you see that trigger dot appear, when the stars align, that is when you may enter. So we will place our stop just below that last swing, which is right here. And we're not targeting 1-to-1. We're not targeting 1 to 1.5 or 2. Instead, we are following this indicator, specifically this top bar right here. Maybe perhaps I can highlight it out. We are following just this top bar. So what we want to look for is the moment that a red dot appears after our entry. And it would be right here, right? We have a red dot appear here. We are in a slight loss, and according to TradeIQ, we do not exit the trade. Instead, we wait for this to either hit the stop loss or enter back into the green, into profit, and print red. In this case, we do not have our stop hit, and we enter back into profit on this candle here. And as you can see, that's the first one that we enter back into profit. We have a red print, so we will exit the trade right there. For this test, I will be using it's a $100 risk. So, pretend you have a $10,000 account. You're risking, a pseudo 1%. In this case, we're just going to say it's $100. So with this risk to reward ratio, this would mean we have a meager $6 win. Go grab a cup of coffee. I don't even know if you can buy coffee for $6 anymore. And of course, realistically, in your account, you want to be compounding your winners. So, if you started with a $10,000 account and you went up $6, you would want to risk not $100, but what would that be? $100.06 or something would be your new stop. You always want to be compounding those winners and let your money work for you. Next up, we would be looking for a short. For a short condition, it is exactly the opposite of the long condition. Price must be below the EMAs, and that's what we have here. The 50 EMA must be below the 200 EMA, and you can see that happens right back here. We also need the volatility oscillator to print below the low blue line, so that would look like all of these little spikes down here. Below this low blue line, the trend meter must be totally red, so just the opposite again. We would want to see a red trigger dot. We want to see 3 red dots in this nice red rectangle or red box. We want to see a red bar here, a red bar below that, and a spike below on the volatility oscillator. So we can go ahead and look for an entry in a short position once we see these two EMAs cross. We will look for our first short. We have an entry right here. We will stick our stop loss just above the last swing, and we will now wait for a green dot to appear in the top bar. Right here, we have a green dot. However, this is in the red, so we do not sell out of this. We need to wait for this thing to swing back into profit and then check to see when it flips green. And in this case, wow, okay. So in this case, we made out pretty good. We've got a green dot that prints here in the top bar. So this is where we would exit because we are in profit. And that would be that'd be a cool 328. I'll tell you what, though, I'd be surprised if it's this good for the whole time, but we will find out. I'm going to go ahead and get started on that 100 trades, and I will be back in just a second to let you know how it turned out. Just a few notes here. I'm drawing out this rectangle as a point of interest. It's a gap fill. You'll see that we had that break below and that wick that moved back in to this rectangle that I drew out right there. So this happened in a downtrend. We had a bit of a counter trend as this price was moving back up, and it was immediately rejected. And you'll see price moving up there along that LQ line that I drew out. We had a break below, a retest, and a break right there. You'll see we did have a trade entry signal. Now, per the rules of the strategy, this is not one we would have taken, as we're not compounding trades, but it is one I would have taken had I seen it live. So, finally, the results. How did we do? Can I get a drum roll, please, in the comments below? Well, 2,540 after 100 trades. I am shocked to see this. I expected massive losses, and I got just the opposite. Go figure. Seeing the positive results of this, I'm going to go ahead and do another back test on another pair. Again, 15-minute time frame. If I have some time, I'll give this a shot on maybe crypto as well. I don't have much faith that this working in the stock market. I'm not going to spend any time doing that. But again, impressive. I am impressed. So TradeIQ in the Trader Hotseat. I was expecting to roast this guy, and well, here we are. So again, if you found this content useful, leave a like and a subscribe to keep up to date on new episodes of Backtesting the Backtesters. But tell me, do you have any faith in this strategy after seeing the results? Who would you like to see next in the Trader Hotseat, and which strategies would you like me to test? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, take care. We'll see you again soon.